England are the best team in the world. Forget France, forget Brazil, Portugal, get stuffed. Germany, your old news. Italy, you're going down. It's all about England. Get in. Overreacting, obviously, I don't care. The match has literally just finished. I'm so hyped. England are in a final. Oh my god. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's the first final for England since '66. It's the first final in my lifetime. And I don't care what anyone says. People can complain about the penalty that was awarded. We'll get into that. England 100% deserve to win. 100% deserve to win. Denmark had like a good opening, maybe 30, 40 minutes. But apart from that, they offered barely anything in the second half. Then the best thing they offered was maybe like a shot from Dolberg, which was then given as offside anyway. Nothing in the last, seriously, the last 60 minutes for me. It was all England pressure, and England are 100% deserve to get through to the final of Euro 2020. And before we get into the match, first of all, make sure to like the video, make sure to subscribe. But can we all just take a moment to appreciate, I know I don't always get my predictions right, in fact, more often than not I get them wrong, but before a ball was kicked, what did I say the final would be? And that is going to set up an Italy versus England final. I was incredibly nervous throughout the entire game. First half, let's talk about the first goal from Denmark. Well, the only goal from Denmark, obviously, but the first goal of the game from a free kick. Damsgaard, I think it was, who took it. On the face of it, looked like when he was like lining up to shoot, I was like, he's not gonna shoot from here, surely. He's not going to score from here, surely. Next thing I know, it's in the back of the net. And watching it the first time, it really confused me because it wasn't in the corner at all. So I was a bit perplexed as to how it went in. It was hit with a lot of power, yes, but I think Pickford's got his positioning wrong. I think he was stood too far over to his left side. Probably should have been stood over more to his right because the ball wasn't in the corner at all. It was not central, but quite... if the middle's there and the corner's there, it was sort of like there, so it wasn't even like it was absolutely in the corner. So I think a keeper of Pickford's quality should have saved it. He got a fingertip to it, he didn't. Unfortunate that Pickford didn't save it because I think he should have saved it. But England responded pretty quickly. I thought Saka had a really good first half. He dwindled more in the second half. Harry Kane, who I thought had a really good game today, linking play. He played a pinpoint ball into Saka, who then played it into Sterling. This actually, this same move happened, I think this exact same move happened like 5 minutes prior, where Saka played it into Sterling, and Sterling just hit it at Schmeichel, and like Schmeichel's chest saved it. But this time, Sterling's in a great position, and I can't remember which centre-half it was, but there was a Danish centre-half. It literally hits his groin, his area, and it goes in the back of the net. So even though Sterling didn't get the goal, his presence forced the Danish defender to do something. It's an own goal. It goes in the back of the net. I think this might be the record for own goals at a tournament. That might be own goal number 11 or 12. I'm not sure. Brilliant attacking play from that front three. Kane into Saka. Saka's ball into Sterling. Sterling's presence causing the own goal. England are back in the game, and they never really looked back from then on. They took the game by the scruff of the neck. Denmark weren't really able to get back into the game. There were some times where, again, that ball through the middle, just slicing the England midfield, that does really need to be sorted out, especially against Italy in the final. However, apart from the occasional half chance for Denmark, like I say, with the offside from Dolberg that Pickford did save in the end, they didn't really offer too much, and it was all England basically in the second half. Saka dwindled a little bit in the second half. Mount, I thought, was a bit better in the second half. First half, he wasn't really doing too much. And then Grealish came on. That was the right change for me because Sterling, we'll talk about Sterling properly in a minute, but there's no way Sterling could have been taken off because he was so good throughout the game and up until that point. Like I say, his presence caused the goal from taking place. Grealish came on, really good, added a lot of energy. Denmark were dwindling at that point, I think. And then, again, the nail in the coffin was bringing on Foden for Mount. It was Foden, as soon as he came on, I thought it was really good as well. Really good to see him. And it's so good for England to have all these options on the bench. And I asked this question on stream. I was probably, in the moment, I was sort of doing it as a half joke. I was going bold or whatever. I was like, do England have the best forward talent in the world? Because we've got Kane, we've got Foden, we've got Sterling, we've got Rashford, we've got Sancho. I've probably missed someone out there. We've got Greenwood as well, who isn't even in the side. We've got Saka. I think I've named everyone there. Literally, does anyone have a better attacking player than us? Someone mentioned France, but Kane's better than Benzema. Mbappe, yeah, he's good, but then Griezmann, would you rather Griezmann or would you rather like Foden, Sancho, Grealish? I know who I'd rather have. So, amazing for Southgate to have those options. England should have had a penalty. Around 75th minute, I think it was Kane who went down, and that is a penalty, and no one can tell me otherwise. That is 100% a penalty. Do not care. Sterling, excellent throughout. Speaking of Sterling, first half of extra time, Sterling wins a penalty for England. Now, controversy here, went down incredibly easy. Technically, there was contact, so I believe technically it's not a dive. Not so sure. I don't know. It's largely irrelevant because the one on Kane should have been given. The one on Kane was more of a penalty than the one on Sterling. However, if we're talking, Ian Wright made a good point on post analysis. If the one on, I don't know if he said this, but he was talking about consistency. If the one on Mbappe from I think Semedo in the Portugal-France game is a penalty, where it wasn't a penalty, then the one on Sterling is a penalty. If we're talking about consistency rather than match to match, talking about overall, because as you know, the classic you've seen them given, then that is a penalty and no one can complain about it. But the main thing for me is the fact that England were robbed of a penalty earlier on, like I say, around the 70th, 75th minute. So I honestly don't care if people think it was a dive, if people don't think it should have been a penalty, because England should have had a penalty anyway. Denmark didn't deserve anything from the game. And it was, as far as I'm concerned, that's just rewards. Kane steps up. I just think he's going to smash it in. He misses it. Well, he doesn't miss it. Schmeichel saves it. He probably was the overall man of the match, Schmeichel, because he did some really good saves throughout the game. There was another time where Maguire did a really good header, but then fortunately Kane's able to tuck in the rebound, and then it was just a game management masterclass from England there on out, especially in the last 5 minutes. Denmark barely got a touch of the ball. The crowd were olaying, and really professional, mature performance from a relatively young England side. I don't know what the exact stats are, but I think we've got one of the youngest squads in the whole competition, so really good to see that level of maturity and professionalism. In terms of the rest of the performance, I thought Saka played well in the first half, went a bit. Grealish did okay when he came on, actually went off because Southgate changed the system to back 3, back 5, brought on Trippier. Thought Kyle Walker was solid. Maguire, solid as always. He's been brilliant. Stones, don't think he put a foot wrong in the game. Luke Shaw, not as effective as he was in previous games, but he was still very, very dangerous going forwards. But Maguire was the main one. He could have had a goal, but for an excellent Schmeichel save. He was winning everything in the air, solid defensively, brilliant interceptions as well. He was probably I think he's been England's second best player of this tournament so far. Sterling's easily been England's best player. I don't care what anyone says. It's just, this isn't even an opinion anymore. He just is England's best player, and he's the player of the tournament for me so far. There, I said it. Not just for his performances this game, also throughout the rest of the tournament. But like I say, this game, he caused the first goal by being a menace. He won the penalty for the second goal, and his dribbling was just brilliant throughout. But realistically, all that matters is England are in the Euros final against Italy. It's such an achievement to just get to the final. I think anyone questioning Southgate or anyone who said Southgate out needs to shut up now. I've always been Southgate neutral. I was always going to say, well, I'm going to judge him based on this Euros and then see. And the fact he's got us to a final, and it's not been easy by any means. People can have a go at England for not facing good competition. But first of all, we faced the last World Cup finalists, and we faced Germany, and we faced an incredibly tricky Denmark side. So it's not like England have had clean sailing. It's not our fault that France got. I mean, we weren't in the same draw as France anyway, but who else was in our draw? Netherlands, who were on paper another good side. It's not our fault that Netherlands got knocked out by the Czech Republic. It's not our fault that Switzerland knocked France out. So I don't want to hear any of this, that you've had an easy route. It's not been an easy route by any means. It's been a route. Maybe you could say on paper it's been easier than Italy's, but it's irrelevant. England deserve to be in the final, and England are in the final. The first time since '66, first time in my lifetime, and most people's, maybe not most people, but certainly most of my followers' lifetime. And it's all very exciting. It'll be interesting to see how Southgate lines up. I imagine it'll basically be the same. The only question mark might be around Saka, because I think, again, the goalkeeper picks itself, defense picks itself, midfield picks itself, and now England go into the final against Italy, Roberto Mancini's Italy, who have been impressive throughout, but I wasn't too impressed with their performance against Spain. I think that we saw a vulnerability in Italy. I thought for large portions of that game, Spain were the better side. I think Italy were lucky to get to penalties. I think that Spain were the better side. Spain would just had an absolute awful performance in terms of penalties. England have nothing to fear. I think man for man. Is this a mad statement? Man for man, I think England are better than Italy. I think. Not 100% on that. England have a really good chance to win a trophy, to win the Euros, which they've never done before. And obviously it's their first final since 66, and therefore it'll be their first trophy since 66 as well. Can football come home? I obviously hope so. And there's no reason why it can't. And talking about the future, we'll talk about the future of the future prospects of this side on stream. And it's the World Cup next year. That's the thing, this side is very young. It's very young. Like Foden's what, 21? Sancho must be around the same age. Mount's like 20, 22, 23. Rashford's young. Grealish isn't old. Kane's not old. The defence isn't old. This could be the start of something really exciting. Who knows? Like I say, World Cup literally next year. Who knows what could happen? I'm just saying. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but I'm just saying. I have been saying since the start it's coming home. I have been saying since the start it would be an Italy-England final. And I have been saying since the start England will beat Italy in the final. I've not just been saying that for the memes or out of hope. I genuinely... Well, I always think England can do well, but more so this year than anything else, just looking at the talent that we've got and also the way we're playing, I think England are going to win. I really do think England are going to win against Italy. They might. Obviously, they might not. Game of football might be Italy might score early, games manage their way to victory and just win 1-0. But why can't England win? Why can't we win? Beating Germany, beating Croatia. Denmark ain't easy. Italy looked pretty fragile against Spain, and Spain aren't that good. I think I always would have backed England to beat Spain. Why can't we win? I think we will. And if we do, I'll go mental. Oh, what a brilliant day. Great stream. Thank you to everyone who joined. If you haven't joined our live streams, by the way, do make sure to follow the Twitch. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel because we do live streams simultaneously on Twitch and YouTube. And let me know in the comments what are your predictions for the Italy-England game. Can England do it? There are two questions, I suppose. Can England do it? Yes, they can. That's indisputable. But the main question is, will England do it? I think they will. I think there's enough in this side from a technical standpoint, a talent standpoint, a mentality standpoint. We've got home advantage as well. I don't think that's maybe being talked about as much as it could be. I believe the final is at Wembley. It will be mainly English fans there, home soil. This is the best chance for England to win a trophy since they last won a trophy in '66. Because they never got to this is only their second ever final. Yeah, I'm just so excited. I will hopefully we'll be next time we talk. Actually, there'll be some videos in between, but hopefully in the next coming days we'll be celebrating England's victory against Italy, and we can stop singing "It's Coming Home" and we can start singing "It's Home." Wouldn't that be a great day? Have a lovely day, guys. Enjoy the victory. And don't let any, I know I was about to end it, but someone said on stream that people apparently have been having to go at England fans for celebrating scoring the second goal. Or, people are suggesting that England are celebrating too early because they haven't won anything yet. Don't listen to that. Enjoy the moment. We're in a final. If you can't celebrate being in a final, what can you celebrate? Do you know what I mean? It would be mad. It would be mad if you could only celebrate once the final whistle was blown. Otherwise, football wouldn't be football, would it? So, enjoy it. Drink it in, as they say. Because it's the first time it's happened in our lifetimes. Have a lovely day, guys. I'm going to go and eat, yeet, skeet, delete. Have a lovely day.